dug in, ready to go. We're going to pull up and make a move towards this tree line. Straight ahead. Yeah. We got our neighbor over here. He's got a couple dove decoys set out. He's still good. 70 yards out. We backed into this tree line here. So we're in between an open field, cornfield, and another field on the other side. We're already seeing a little more activity out here bird-wise. They just need to start coming into us. Yeah, I think I'm enjoying.
Huh?
10 o'clock, but that's not us.
What are you talking about?
Big old crow.
That's a heron.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh man, I'll tell you what.
What we got here?
Man, we're coming up that cut path that we walk out here to where my camera is and the other camera is above the bedding areas. And we didn't notice it before because as the summer and the fall continue, it's still growing out here because we got some late rains. And we walk by and all of a sudden we notice probably, I bet you it's a gap of about 24 inches right in the middle of some shrubbery. We walk in and there's tracks the whole way through. I got a trail going this way. I got another trail going this way. And we just did have some rain recently, but you can tell this whole area is just roughed up. It's going up towards that way, which is in the direction of our stands, or where we're going to put our stands.
I say Brazos is about right up yonder over there.
Yes, yeah, because this should take us back towards the cut path, which would be the final stretch of our land, or our area where we're going to hunt on public. This is amazing. I can't believe we didn't see this before. How many? We've been out here, what, 3 times now?
At least 3.
It looks like a tunnel entryway. I'm serious. When you're walking by it, I mean, this thing is 18 to 24 inches wide.
I mean, you can see that right through there.
That's sick. Well,
you always come across something new, even when you've been around on the property.
But you know what? That gives us more credence for this area too. That's the cool part. It really makes me feel good, because you're right, my spot, and we were pretty much parallel, because I was trying to track hunt stand.
That's
on the
why
way
I said
in.
we'll just walk this in,
And I think this will be the way to go. And if we figure out how far down that drainage ditch goes, where that runoff is, I think we stumble right into that right up here.
We're gonna go check these cameras, see what's going on.
Okay. Man, I don't know, 20 feet.
No.
Not even yards. We're talking feet here. And we're coming up the hill. We just came off from
right down there.
Right. And we've come upon a cross path through here.
It's just bare dirt.
And there's nothing here. It's not, there's not even leaves in spots. That's how much they're traveling. And here's the other thing I wanted to show you. This came from a video from last year that we did, and we couldn't figure out what the plant was. But last year, down on the bottom in that hollow where we were, we noticed these plants were getting nipped off the whole way. And the camera's good, but I don't know if we'll be able to pick up every one of them. But you'll see brand new growth the whole way up this trail. See these small pods? That's brand new growth of these leaves. So the deer, again, are walking by through here and they're browsing this, and it's already regrowing. So this is probably a week or two of growth, maybe. I don't know. like I said, if we have anybody that dabbles in botany and knows something about plants, we'd really love to know what this is, because this is two spots 2 miles apart that we have the same eating going on, eating habits going on. And I mean, they're just, see, here's this one, this was just hit, and then this is the growth from this plant here. So you can see the difference. I don't know how well the camera will see it, but it's nipped off right here at the tip of my thumb. This plant and this one were hit probably a week or two ago, maybe a little bit longer, I don't know. And that's all new growth on top of that sprig. So there you have it. Again, we're in the same 3 mile circle that we've been in for the last 2 years. We're seeing plenty of trails. We're seeing the same greens getting eaten, and we're not even in the acorn area yet. So
there's another trail cutting right around here.
Yeah. So that's 2 different forks within 15 feet of each other. That's insane. That's insane. So of course, with public land, always depends on the pressure come first day. So we're going out to check his camera. We're going to go ahead and head on up, and we'll see you there. Okay, here we are, another 20 feet. We just walked through some overgrowth, and as you can see right here, it's not even a trail anymore right here. These deer are just weaving through. This is an area almost 4 or 5 feet wide. I know I'm a pretty big guy, and we always show you guys trails, but this travel pattern is just epic. I mean, they are just mowing down this greenery here. They're going through, I don't know if it's several deer or it's just several deer throughout the day. That's the question. So hopefully we see some decent footage on the camera, but I really wanted to point this out to everybody. There's probably a yard across, okay? And there's travel on either side of my feet. So not even just a regular trail like we would see coming in and out of a wooded area. We're talking a swath of area now that's just beaten down. Just beaten down. Well, let's keep going and see what we find. Saw something big with antlers. It's bigger than any of the buck that we've seen on camera so far. So we're not quite to our secondary camera yet, but we're gonna go ahead and check it out. Hopefully we get a photo of this thing, because how many points do you think it was?
I'd say at least 8. I think it was out past the
Yeah, it's definitely a big 8, and it was wider than anything we've seen so far. So we're gonna keep on going. And we're going to keep the camera on the trail just for a little bit and see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay, I made it to the next camera. While Taylor starts looking at that, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys something real quick. This is why we come out more than some to scout our area, because Taylor was just out here 10 days ago, and right over here is a giant white oak that has fallen. I know you can't see it so well because it's obscured by some of the leaves, but that tree is all of 50, 60 feet tall, and it went right over one of the secondary trails down here. So that being said, if you were coming in at 3 o'clock in the morning, I imagine it would be quite a shock to find that your pathway in was blocked by a 60-foot tall tree. could or could not affect the travel of the deer. So just saying, there's something for scouting and not just coming out once a year. I'm gonna go ahead, see if we got anything yet.
There it is.
We switched phones
There's that 6 point.
to the other one. What's that?
There's that 6 point. Oh, he shed his velvet.
Really? Oh my, let's see if we can get it. Oh wow. That is a nice looking deer. He's not bad size either.
5:39 in the evening.
Uh-oh. Oh, it's a good thing I got some vacation. Oh my. Let's see if we got it. Did it come in a different route? Or
He's curled this way, which means he's coming down off the hill behind us. The trail comes down and in front meets this hill that comes down, this trail that comes off this hill right here, and it goes up right behind Praz up the hill towards the field over there, and you got a field over there.
oh my.
But that's tall grass, so it's
So basically bring lawn chairs. Forget the stands.
that is a pretty picture. That 6 point.
We'll just bring out a bunch. Okay guys, we just came back to the parking lot from the Scout. We hit both cameras today. We got some fantastic shots. And Taylor, what did we see? Just give us a quick overview of both cameras.
Well, the first camera was a little bit of a bust, only because this time when we went out to check it, the batteries were dead. So obviously, and it didn't have a battery indicator when I checked it about a week and a half ago, and it had several does in several different mornings coming down from the field down the path by where he wants to set up for the first day, which is phenomenal and great sign. But when we went out this time, it obviously didn't have any battery.
But I think on the flip side though, we discovered another trail in that branched off probably 3 different ways.
At least 3 different ways.
And we knew that the ground in there was more roughed up than when we were in there last time.
Yeah.
So I'm good with the batteries dying. He was out a week and a half ago. We'll call that one even.
And there's still fresh sign on all those trails, so even without having the pictures there to actually for us to see that deer are using them, you can see the sign there, and they're still moving through there. So without a doubt in my mind, that you still got deer moving through there, no ifs, ands, or buts. So, you know, I feel comfortable. I know he feels comfortable, you know, sitting there because the sign's there. We've had the pictures, so yeah, that's set forth. Now the bedding area, that was now that we figured out the camera issue and moved it onto where those 2 trails come off the hill, where he probably got a shot of it while I was checking the camera. Well, also when we were walking in, we jumped a really nice buck, really nice. It looked like an 8 point. Obviously didn't get a real good look at it, but it was definitely out to the ears, if not a little past. So it was a nice deer. So obviously we have a nice buck in there. And when we went and checked the camera, he wasn't on there, but he's still in there, so we know that. But we had that nice 6 point that we had on before that we shared on Facebook. So he's still in there. He lost his velvet, so which means he's probably going to start running around here a little more now. But a lot of does coming through, so I know Dawson's going to be one to sit there for the first day. And definitely I told him in the evening, because that's when that buck's coming through.
Now, I think my question is, I did have a question, and it came in on my personal site from another group that does watch us, and it actually happened to us today. We know we have the 6 point on camera. We know he lost his velvet, and he's decent size. And now that we've jumped this appears to be larger buck out of that area, do you think, A, does the rut start earlier, or B, that's just a bigger deer making his 1 to 2 mile circle a little bit bigger and kind of testing the waters? What do you think? This is coming from the novice guy.
Well, it's hard to say for me right now, only because there's no pictures of him, which in regards could go either way, being as, okay, we don't have pictures of him and now all of a sudden we've seen him. Okay, now does that mean he's, you know, making his territory a little bit bigger before, you know, his velvet sheds and everything? Or are we in his home range basically, but we're not in a part, and the camera's not in the part of where he travels a lot, or maybe he takes a different route rather than the trails that those doe and that 6-point are taking. That's kind of what I'm feeling, is that it's still his home range,
Okay.
but he just doesn't use that part hardly at all. And I mean, the camera's been there for a month, month and a week, or month and a couple weeks now. So you'd think you'd get a picture of it, but I think it's still his home range, and that's where he lives, and that he just doesn't travel through there that often. I don't know that for sure.
And I think one other lesson we learned, and I talked about it a little bit while Taylor was starting to check the camera for photos, was as we were going through the wide area around the bedding area to get to where the camera was, we discovered a huge fresh tree fall. It's probably a 50-60 foot
It's
oak.
a giant white oak.
But that just goes to show that a little bit of scouting, changing your dates up, not coming in every week, but every couple of weeks. Here it is 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before the season, and if that was your trail and now all of a sudden you have a 50-foot tree across it, what do you do next? Well, now we have alternatives, because there was a nice trail, and I think the tree is low enough. I think the deer can just continue to skip over it.
The lower one, yes.
Yeah, but if that happened to be your area that you were planning on setting up, or in fact the tree that you set a stand on, what do you do?
Wouldn't that be a bummer? You walk in to go set up and you're like, well, my tree's not here. Guess I gotta find another one.
So just again goes to show the importance of scouting, and not even scouting, just going out and take a walk in the woods every once in a while. Find those alternate spots, find those fresh deadfalls, and it help you to be more successful when you get out there and hunt. So,
And hopefully you learn a lot from our mistakes, because we make a lot of them, obviously.
yes,
but
absolutely.
that's why we do this, so that we can share with you guys and also gain information from other hunters as well, so that we can learn, everybody can learn. It benefits everybody. So
And that is why we like to share some of our videos in some of the different Facebook groups that we're a part of, both on public and our personal pages. We like to reach out to other hunters, start discussions, because you don't learn unless you discuss some stuff. Find that middle ground and get some tips where you can. You know, maybe your dad and your grandfather did something one way for the last 20 years, but all of a sudden you find something that's maybe working out for somebody else that does it completely opposite. Could be anything. Could be your hikes, could be your scouts.
Yep.
Something as simple as walking on the deer trail or walking next to the deer trail. There's 1,000 discussions right there.
Yep.
So, but till then, keep the comments coming, keep the likes coming. What are we up to? 1,350.
I don't know, we're climbing up
Likes.
to almost 1,400 on Facebook.
And I
so.
definitely think we're planning on doing something special for that 1,500 when we hit that mark, and I think we will here very soon. We'll definitely be looking at doing another giveaway.
So
we'll
pay
figure out what
attention to
is.
that.
And till then, 9/12, we're almost there. We're a little over 2 weeks away from the season. Make sure you're safe, make sure you're legal, and of course,
Yeah, I agree.